channel. So this is a face you guys have barely seen on my channel, and there's a reason for it, and I just really quickly wanted to give it since a lot of people have been asking about Ace.
Ace is a Crested Gecko, and he basically had such a bad owner, to the point where he was 23 grams when I got him. That's insane for a 3 to 4 year old male adult Crested Gecko. They should be like at least like 35. So now he's at 37 grams at the moment, and he's gaining weight still, which is good, and he is just doing a lot better now, and his tank has gotten a lot better, and he's getting an upgrade soon, so now I feel finally comfortable to film videos about just specifically him.
Now that that's out of the way, Crested Geckos are definitely one of the most commonly kept lizards, and probably them and leopard geckos are definitely the most common gecko kept in captivity. So I decided, since so many people are getting these and they've gained a lot of popularity, especially in the past couple of years, I wanted to make a video on them since I know a couple of my subscribers or friends are looking or planning to get Crested Geckos, and there are some things you should know about them that may be deal breakers for some people. They make a really great pet for me, but I know some people that expect and want other things and qualities in an animal may not fit or suit this guy for you. So without further ado, let's get into the video and just some cons and some things to consider. Not like I'm trying to discourage you or keep you from not getting one, it's just there's some things you just need to take into consideration before getting one. The first thing is, you're not supposed to handle Crested Geckos constantly. Leopard geckos and bearded dragons, for the most part, are much more tolerant at handling than these guys are. And it's not the fact that they just are unfriendly or anything like that. It is just they get stressed quite easily. So I only honestly handle Ace every other day when I have to feed him, which is only for like 5 minutes. I don't consider that handling, but he doesn't know how to eat out of his dish. And I only handle him honestly like 2 times a week, and he does great with handling, but obviously you just don't want to stress them out. So that is just something to consider. Some are going to be a little more friendly than others and more tolerant of it. Some will maybe hate it, but if you get one generally that's like Ace, that's pretty handleable. You should only handle them like 2 or 3 times a week at max. You're not going to get a pet that is going to sit still. This is mainly what they do. They jump. Ace is shockingly sitting because he has nowhere to jump to, really, besides onto my camera, which he's probably going to attempt to do. So you're not going to get an animal that sits still. Personally, I'm a very antsy person, so I think it's really fun to constantly be catching a Crested Gecko and just hanging out and while it jumps, instead of like a bearded dragon or a leopard gecko that just kind of sits or just like walks. But obviously that is up to you, and if you're more of a chill person that just kind of wants an animal to snuggle and hang out with, you're definitely not going to get this out of a Crested Gecko. So I definitely consider looking at a different pet. But if you are pretty antsy and like to watch your animal as well, I completely recommend getting them because they're really fun to handle. The next thing is, some Crested Geckos can have pretty mean personalities. It's mainly males that are full adults. They get extremely territorial with their cages, and they just get a bunch of boy problems. So they just get extremely aggressive sometimes. Lori's Heartland, her Crested Gecko is extremely aggressive. She can barely handle it without it biting her, and I just hope Ace doesn't get like that, but you definitely need to take that into consideration. And some females can get like that, but it's mainly males. So just keep that in mind when getting either an adult Crested Gecko or for the future. Crested Geckos are not an animal that you're just going to have for, you know, like a hamster's lifespan, like 1 to 3 years. It's going to be 10 to 20 years. That's why I always suggest getting friendly adults for most kids that want one, or adults, anyone that really wants one, since they live so long and you can't promise you are able to care for it. Obviously every once in a while something may come up where you sadly have to rehome them. But for the most part, I recommend getting one that's at least 2 or 3 since they just live so long. I guess Crested Geckos, I have a bond with Ace, but it's not an animal. Don't expect it to be like a bearded dragon or like a blue-tongued skink where it's gonna be like have so much personality, which yes, they do have personality, but I definitely see a lot more personality out of Zeus, my bearded dragon, than I do out of my Crested Gecko. So just keep that in mind. Obviously they have personalities, but it's just going to be a bit different than probably what you would expect. So honestly, they're most of the time just going to be jumping and sitting and jumping and sitting, and that's pretty much all they do. Crested geckos are also known to, not known I guess, but they are definitely a little bit more nippy when they get upset or stressed than I feel like a leopard gecko or bearded dragon would. Bearded dragons tend to just puff and get black bearded when they're nervous, and they usually don't tend to just start biting. But I took him out twice in one day because I had to feed him once, and then I tried to take a few photos of him, and he ended up biting my cheek because he was just very, very nervous, and I just felt really bad because it was completely my fault. But just keep in mind they do get a little bit more nippy when they get stressed, so just keep an eye out for your animal getting stressed. These are just some things you need to take into consideration. Again, I'm not completely like downfalling you or saying you shouldn't get one. These are just, again, things you need to definitely consider if you want to get one, and just really think if it's going to work with your lifestyle, and if you're going to be too like handsy and want to handle it every day to every other day, it may not be the best pet for you. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Stay possum. Bye guys.